Let's get interrupted for the acceleration. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Mazda 6 GTR. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Southtown Mazda for giving me some time with this car. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. Under the hood here, we have a turbocharged 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 23 around town and then 31 on the highway, with power outputs being 227 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Mazda 6 GTR. So first and foremost, I love the muscular lines there at the top of the hood. And before the lights pop off, you can see you've got these beautiful projector LEDs with the LED accent lights. And I think all of it just looks absolutely fantastic together. Definitely a unique design, and it just absolutely works with the rest of this car. And then you guys can see you've got the chrome that goes with the rest of the car, and it's integrated into the Mazda logo as well. And then you've got the chrome just down below there at the bottom of the bumper. And if you guys are wondering, this is the Soul Red color, which I think with the overall theme of this car just looks really good. So coming around the side here, we've got two 25mm tires on 19-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. They are alloy wheels, and I love the coloration on them. So it's not quite the same as the rest of the chrome on the car. Hopefully you guys can kind of see the difference. So there's the wheel, and then there's the chrome on the rest of the car. Again, just a little bit different. I absolutely love it. They just look really good in general. And other than that, here is your full side view on the Mazda 6 GTR. Let's pop into the trunk of the Mazda 6. You guys can see storage space back here is absolutely plentiful. This is a larger sized sedan, so the storage is going to be really solid. And then you guys can see just under this little thing, so there's a little mat right here. Basically, you just pick that up, and then underneath this is where the spare tire sits. Pretty easy. The easiest way to get it up is just the corner here. Just grab that, and then that's the easiest way to pick it up. But other than that, that is the rear of the Mazda 6 GTR, and see ya. Let's go over the rear of the Mazda 6. So you guys can see you've got these beautiful taillights. Again, similar design as to what they have on the front. Just looks absolutely fantastic. And you've got the chrome with the Mazda badging. And then you guys can see you've got the dual exhaust tips here in the back. But overall, especially with those lights, it's a really good modern look here from the rear. Now here's the door panel at the back of the Mazda 6. So first off, you can see this really nice trim here, and I love how they have that little metal trim that continues to the door handle. And they got this beautiful white leather, which I think contrasts very nicely to the Soul Red on the exterior. And then here are the seats in the back, so you can see really nice leather with the nice perforations there on the center portion of the seat. Just look really good. But let's actually pop in and get out of the snow for like 2 seconds. I probably have snow all over my hair. But anyways, you guys can see I've got a decent amount of headroom. I'm 5'11", and then you guys can see my leg room is pretty good as well. We've got a couple of vents back here, and then we've got this like cup holder situation. So a couple cup holders, heated seats here in the rear, and then you got some extra storage space as well, and then you can tuck it away when you're done. But that is the back of the Mazda 6. Here's the door panel at the front of the Mazda 6. So you guys can see you've got this beautiful trim here at the top, and then again you got the silver trim that goes all the way down to the door handle, and then you got the really nice white leather there on the rest of the door panel. And then you guys can see all the window controls, you've got the mirror adjustment, all of that. And then here are the seats at the front. Again, you've got the nice white leather with the perforations all throughout, and then you've got the adjustments here on the side of the seat with the memory seat function as well. And then we've got our little pedal layout right here. You've got your little gas cap release and then your trunk release on top of that, which is just up above. That's the release for the hood. I kind of got it mixed up. My bad. Anyways, stability control right there. And then this is your lane departure assistance. And then you guys can see the paddle shifters there on the back. And there's one more look before we actually pop in. So here is the steering wheel in the Mazda 6. So you guys can see that we've got soft touch all around the steering wheel, which just looks absolutely fantastic. You've got the darker stitching right there. And then you do have these paddle shifters on the back to shift that 6-speed automatic yourself if you'd prefer. Adaptive cruise control right over here on this side. And you got your voice command controls. You got the info control as well of your phone controls. Pretty straightforward setup. And then you got the stock for the lights right there. And then you have the stock for the windshield wipers on the other side. And other than that, that's the steering wheel in the Mazda 6 GTR. Here's the gauge cluster. You guys can see you've got the RPMs over on the left side. Right there in the middle, you can see the speed, and then you do have that screen over there on the right side. And if you press that little info tab that you guys saw on the steering wheel, you can scroll through a couple of different menus here that just give you different bits of information on the Mazda 6. I think it's a nice modern looking gauge cluster in general, and that's all for that. So we've got the center infotainment system. First off, if we pop it in reverse, you can see we've got a backup camera with the little trajectory lens resolution on it. It's actually really solid. And other than that, with the rest of the infotainment system, so first off, it is a touchscreen, so you guys can do the little touchscreen function with it. But then you also have a dial that you can control things, so you can do the touchscreen or you can do the dial, whichever you prefer. There's a bunch of shortcut buttons. So like, for example, if I go over to the navigation, then I can go back and press the home screen button. It'll take me back to the home screen. Pretty straightforward, really easy to use. Definitely love this infotainment system because they double down the controls. Like if I want to use it like a touchscreen, I can. If I don't, then I don't have to. I just like the dual function use with this infotainment system. Just down below, we've got our climate controls. This does come with dual zone climate, and then you do get heated and ventilated seats, and then a heated steering wheel as well. Pretty cool. And then I love the trim around. You can see again the nice white leather with the stitching, just looks and feels really nice. Some extra storage there in the front, and then here is the shifter for that 6-speed automatic transmission. Again, you can shift the gears yourself with those, or you can use the paddles here on the back of the steering wheel. And then just down below, we do have a little sport mode button, so that'll pop up here in this center screen. So you push it on, you have the sport mode, and then you push it down, and then you go to normal mode. If you guys look, so at the far left bottom corner, it pops up with sport, and then it takes it off into the normal mode. So that's where it lets you know if you're in sport mode or if you're not in sport mode. Now here we've got all of the controls for the radio systems. You can see you've got a little dial here that you can control the infotainment system. Then you got the volume control right next to it. And then you've got your little parking brake and your auto hold in that little area. And then we do have some cup holders right here, which you can cover up with that little tab. And then we've got the center console with a little 12 volts, some USBs, all that kind of stuff. Soft touch leather that continues all the way down and up. And then again, soft touch over here. We've got the really nice trim. I love how the vents are connected by that little line of metallic trim. And then opening up the glove box, pretty normal, lined with felt, all that kind of stuff. And the glove box even matches everything else color-wise. So up top here, we've got a sunglass holder, which pretty straightforward. You've got the sunroof controls, which no, I'm not going to open up the sunroof because, well, it's been snowing today, and I do not want to get snow all over this beautiful white leather interior, but that is the top. Before we go over pricing, I just want you guys to take one more look at the interior. I just love the materials and how everything's put together. It just looks very, very nice. And also, we do have a heads-up display. Sorry, it's hard to see because of all the water, but there is a heads-up display nonetheless. But let's get into pricing. So this Mazda 6 in the GTR package, stickers for about $32,500 before any type of market adjustment. That all being said, let's take this Mazda 6 out and see how she drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off here in the Mazda 6 GTR. So you guys can see visibility of the hood, and there's another quick reminder that you got the heads-up display. There's your visibility through both the mirrors. They do come with blind spot monitoring. And then here's all throughout the rest of the rear. And I mean, if the windows weren't all fogged up and covered in snow, then we'd have really good visibility actually for a sedan. And that all being said, well, let's set off, and I should probably pop on old defroster. So we are setting off here in the Mazda 6 GTR, and well, it's snowing. The snow is just turning to water on the road so far. Trust me, it'll stick a little bit later today. And that being said, though, this car drives really good in the snow, if you get what I'm saying. Handling's really nice with this Mazda 6 GTR, especially compared to its competitors. It definitely has like a sportier driving feel, which I really appreciate. It just makes this car a whole lot more exciting in general. Brakes are really good on the car as well. Yeah, I love the actuation on the brake pedal. It's perfectly modulated, which again, just another nice little thing I like. Partial throttle. The car's got a decent amount of torque that you can just ride on, and so it just gets up and goes at a really good pace. I am going to pop it over into the sport mode and then the manual mode as well. Gear shifts pop off pretty decent. But yeah, so far this car is just like the perfect combination of luxury and sports car actually. So it rides really smooth, but on top of that, the steering and the handling is really nice, especially compared to other cars in the segment. You actually get a little bit of road feel, and the steering rack is really direct. So it just gives you a sportier feeling, and I prefer cars that are like this because I hate it when manufacturers make a car like too sporty and it's just really rough riding and you don't really want to drive it on a daily basis. Let's get interrupted for the acceleration. Quick, not as quick as the Mazda 3 because that car's a little bit lighter. I can actually feel a difference between the cars. That's interesting. I can actually perceive a difference between the cars, but this is still a really quick car. You guys heard the power figures. That's one thing that I love about Mazda is they offer this more premium engine option that just makes this car so much better. But let's pop it back into automatic mode. And where I was going with the whole car situation, and let's actually get into summing things up with the Mazda 6, is I love it when car manufacturers make a car that's so well put together like this. So obviously from the interior perspective, this car is absolutely fantastic. Top-notch materials, it's really well put together. I love the exterior. Obviously the new Mazda 3 looks a little bit better from an exterior perspective, but I still think this is a good-looking car. And then from the driving perspective, I think this is the perfect balance, again, of luxury and sport. So it's not really rough riding. Like if you get in something like a Subaru WRX, I know completely different car in terms of the size and all that, but you get in that car, it rides pretty rough and it beats you up a little bit, especially like the STI version. And again, that's, you know, a little bit more power than this, but similar enough in terms of power figures. Whereas you get in this, it has a really smooth ride quality. It handles really well. And it's fun to drive, and again, it just doesn't beat you up. And that's the thing I really love about this Mazda 6 is you get the best of both. And so if that's what you're looking for, if you want something that is really comfortable to drive from a daily driver perspective, but you want something that's also a little bit fun to drive, has a decent amount of power, that's where the GTR really shines. And that's why I really like this Mazda 6 package in general. It's just the best of both worlds. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Mazda 6 GTR. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Southtown Mazda for giving me some time with this Mazda 6. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.